Hello everyone, and welcome back to another book review. For the about week leading up to Valentine's Day, I've challenged myself to get out of my comfort zone and really read books that I don't normally read, particularly in the romance genre. Romance is a genre I don't tend to gravitate towards, but I wanted to really challenge myself and step out of my comfort zone by reading some stuff during this week that I don't normally read. So I've read a number of romance books. You can just see the latest videos on my channel. You'll see them right there. And I've had some pleasant surprises. So today I'm going to talk about the next one that I've read in this series, in this challenge, whatever you want to call it. And that is All the Feels by Olivia Dade. All the Feels by Olivia Dade kind of was one of the books in my contemporary romance picks selections for this challenge, the other one being Girl Gone Viral. So I read both of these, and in my head these were similarly related, and they do kind of both belong to this contemporary romance genre, because they have these like cartoony covers and they just feel similar. They're contemporary, they're romance, they have similar looking covers, at least in my head, and they kind of go together. So I had finished Girl Gone Viral before starting All the Feels, and Girl Gone Viral is to date, or from this challenge, the best one that I've read so far. I enjoyed this one a lot more than I thought, and I didn't just enjoy it for a romance book, I enjoyed it because I enjoyed it. So I had high hopes going into Olivia Dade's All the Feels. First, I'm going to do a little summary of the book, and then I'm going to talk about how I feel about it. I'm not going to get into too many spoilers, but I do want to just do a little review of the book. So, All the Feels. In this book, we have Alex, or Alexander Woodrow is his full name, who is a star who has issues, as in he keeps getting into trouble with the media, with the press. So his showrunners want to make sure that he stays corralled, controlled, not causing problems. And to this end, they appoint him a minder in the name of Lauren Clegg, who just is to follow him around, make sure he's not causing trouble, keep him out of trouble, make sure he's not running his mouth when he's not supposed to, and in general, be in charge of him. Alex really resents the fact that he has a minder and is really needling her and just poking fun at her. Lauren Clegg, who has only taken this role after burning out on being an ER therapist, is just thinking, I want some easy, quick money. This can't be that difficult. I'm going to do my best, keep him in line, and see what I can do. So these two people have been put together, and this employs a trope that I think I remember reading about, and that is like the forced proximity, so people who are forced to spend time together. The other contemporary romance book, Girl Gone Viral, that I read, the one that I liked, also employed this. Well, it's sort of employed. It had like The Bodyguard, which I think is also a separate subgenre of romance, the bodyguard romance, but by having a bodyguard, you also imply that like close proximity, because a bodyguard usually stays close to the person they are tasked with minding. So we do have that forced proximity again here, in that Lauren is the minder and therefore stays very, very close to Alex the entire time, and it kind of has some of that forced proximity feel. They are going through life, and as they go through life, she's getting to know a more personal side of him that he doesn't really show or isn't really portrayed in the media, and Alex is starting to not dislike Lauren as much as he did initially. So between those aspects, living together, she like lives on the guest house in his property, getting to know each other, going through various things in life. Maybe they're starting to fall for one another, hence the romance. Oh good, the cat is scratching on his little cat post. Just in the middle of this video. Thank you. You can continue. Thanks. Let's get into my feels about this. All the feels. I saw feels and said feels instead of feeling. So I had high hopes for this after having read Girl Gone Viral, and when I realized that they were going to employ some of the same tropes, that forced proximity, or yeah, close enough to forced proximity for me to call it that, the contemporary romance, I don't know, I just had really high hopes going into this, and I was a little disappointed because I did not enjoy All the Feels as much as I enjoyed Girl Gone Viral. And I think it boils down to a couple of things, and I'm going to go over why I think that is. The first one is, in Girl Gone Viral, I liked both of the characters, and I liked both half of the duo in the book. In All the Feels, I really didn't, I don't want to say I didn't like Lauren, but I didn't connect with her very well. I didn't feel like I connected with her character or who she was supposed to be. That being said, I did appreciate that she did a little bit more work than some of the other romance authors that I've been reading this book have put in. So she didn't just create a self-insert character. I feel like Daisy in the third, was it Daisy? Shoot, see, I don't even know these people's names. They're so self-insert. I think her name was Daisy, the female character, love interest in the Third Base book by Heidi McLaughlin, Larissa from Racked and Stacked. Those felt very self-insert and very flat, one-dimensional characters. Lauren Chegg did not feel flat. She did not feel one-dimensional. She felt very much like a real person and not like you were supposed to be putting yourself in her shoes. So did Katrina King in this book. This is just turning into a comparison. I'm trying to do a review instead of just comparing, but it is hard to compare because despite both of these two books not having flat, one-dimensional self-insert female characters, I feel like I didn't relate to Lauren Clegg, not Chegg, as much as I did to Katrina King. And as a result, I wound up not disliking her character, but just not connecting with that character. I feel like a character doesn't always have to be a carbon copy of you or relatable to you for you to feel connected to the character. I don't need the character to have gone through everything in life that I've gone through or to have the same struggles in life that I've gone through to relate or to connect to that character. But I would say Lauren Clegg just wasn't relatable to me and I didn't really connect with her as much. So then it kind of fell, one half of the duo fell flat. So I really liked Alex. I feel like there was some, it was very unrealistic, kind of, but I am learning to suspend my disbelief and just allow it to be. I feel like maybe actors in real life aren't going to be just like him. I feel like he should have a little bit more of an ego. I feel like it was definitely a polished version of what an actor looks like, an actor who's falling in love with his minder should look like, which we're gonna let it pass for plot convenience. I'm gonna suspend my disbelief and say that Alex is Alex, with the knowledge that he is more of a polished or perfected version of what an actor should or could be. I did like him. I liked him. Knowing that he was kind of an unrealistic character, I did really enjoy him, and I could really suspend that disbelief and fall into enjoying Alex as a character, and that was something I just didn't feel with Lauren Clegg. Something else that contributed to this disconnect was Lauren Clegg's total lack of confidence, which I get it. The world has made her not confident in herself. It's sometimes difficult to have confidence. We love the semis breaking. Wonderful. I see why she doesn't have that confidence. I understand that she doesn't have this confidence, but it was really frustrating when it came to like the little breakup that they had, watching that lack of confidence come into play. So, of course, something I've discovered is a theme in all these romance books that I read is right after they get together, be it dating, be it a confession of love, being hooking up, being whatever together is, they finally like reached, okay, we like each other, then there's a problem that has to be solved. It feels like there's a very familiar beat in all these books. In fact, as soon as the people in any of these books, as soon as we got past that first sex scene, the first time they confessed their love to one another, the first time they kissed, whatever they're doing, as soon as we got past that, there was a problem. And I feel like it became very relatable, but I knew it was going to be solved. So at this point, I've accepted that this is just the beats of a romance story, kind of like how a cozy mystery has certain beats, and I'm okay with it. So the romance books have their beats. I understand it. When I get to the problem at this point, having read, what now are we on 5, 6 books? I want the problem to be relatable, to be real, to be convincing. And they just kind of really drummed up Lauren Clegg's inability to have a backbone or confidence, especially for like a 39-year-old woman or something, or maybe he's 39. I feel like she's not 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Some of those, when you're younger, I definitely think it's a lot harder to have confidence, but I feel like she could have had a little bit more of a backbone and have a little bit more confidence, and I wish I had seen that from her as a character, as opposed to just lying down and letting Alex's agent walk all over her, which is basically what she did. So that was kind of frustrating and not really relatable or something that I felt like I really connected with. I felt like the problem was very fake and contrived and could have easily been prevented. This is something I find really frustrating, is that in some romance books, the problem feels like something that could actually be a problem in real life, something that really could put the brakes on a romance, the brakes on a relationship, the brakes on the way people feel towards one another. In this book, it just felt like it could have been prevented with some basic communication, which in some romance books, in a lot of romance books I find, if someone had just bothered to communicate or talk to the other person, this breakup that happens after they get together for the first time wouldn't have needed to happen. But then I guess you wouldn't have the beats of a romance novel, so you kind of need them to, you know, break up or be mad at each other. I want it to be convincing because I feel like a lot of the times the problems that the authors come up with to split the couple apart would easily be solved by a simple text message or a simple, hey, here's what's going on. And they didn't do that in this book. And so it was very, very frustrating. Incredibly frustrating, I should say. One thing that I did like is, this is another situation similar to Girl Gone Viral, where Lauren Clegg, while not being directly employed by Alex, is kind of in some sort of power dynamic because she's employed by the showrunners to keep him in check. And Girl Gone Viral, it's the bodyguard and her. So again, another like power dynamic, another way or another situation in which one person is the employer or the person who is being minded. And in this one, they did eventually end that power dynamic, and because we had both sides of the story, you kind of know no one's being manipulated or pressured, even though I've talked about in my review of Girl Gone Viral how that can sometimes be a concern, a very valid concern in real life. This one, the power dynamic kind of ended between the two of them before anything physically happened between the two of them, which I really appreciated and liked, is how things should go in real life, I feel like. Or the moment you think that you are like falling in love and you might, you know, wind up having crazy wild sex on a road trip with someone, you probably should no longer be in a employer-employee dynamic, or you need to end that like as soon as that happens, because otherwise I feel like it's a huge power problem. And that was ended in all the feels. The relationship was, that particular portion of the relationship was terminated before they moved on to the romance, even though the feelings had clearly been brewing for a while. So I did appreciate that, and I did like that in this book. And I feel like that part was done very, very well. Overall, this book is probably going to get a 2.5 to 3 star, just because I really wasn't cheering for Lauren Clegg. I just didn't connect with her, didn't relate with her, but I did really enjoy reading about Alex, and I was like, I could use an Alex. Like, this seems really fun. I really enjoy this. So Alex was doing it for me, Lauren was not, unfortunately, and as a result, that does affect the rating. But I think if you like romance books, if you like contemporary romance books, you might enjoy this book as well. So I would recommend giving it a read, seeing if you get something out of the book that I didn't. I, again, went in with really high hopes after reading Girl Gone Viral, and I just didn't pan out with all the feels as much. I still feel like this one is the better of the two, better of the two of the contemporary romance ones that I read, but also better of the two, this is the better one. This is the worst one. Girl Gone Viral is the better of the two contemporary, and so far also the best that I've read. But yeah, just didn't pan out, but I think it could, because it did still garner 2.5, 3 stars for me, as opposed to some of the other books I've read. Third Base by Heidi McLaughlin, 0.5 star there. It has more relatable characters, more 3D characters, more plot, something else going on besides the romance, and it really does. It has stuff going for it, it just didn't work out for me. If you've read this book or anything else by Olivia Dade, it looks like she also wrote a book called Spoiler Alert. Please let me know, I'd love to hear about it. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.